All right, guys, this is a segment that we want to do a lot of here in the future, and it's get with the coaches. It's Coach's Corner type thing, and I am very excited about this next guest. He is the head coach for the SAGU Lions down in, I believe it's the South Dallas Metroplex. And he's one of the famous good guys now, and he's built quite the reputation as a great coach. And it is Delton Deal. Delton, join us here on the screen. There we go. Thanks, James. And thank you so much, man, for taking the time. I know you are like living on 1 to 2 hours of sleep. It's been a crazy weekend. Road trip. You got back last night, 5:30 in the morning, and but you got a good win yesterday against Central Christian up in Kansas, and you got to feel good about that. Talk a little bit about that win yesterday.
Yeah, it was a good one for us. We had just come off the game versus Langston on Saturday. We didn't play very well. They got us pretty good, and so seeing our guys be resilient, bounce back. They've done that all year. To be honest with you, we've played a really tough schedule, and every time we've had something happen, we've bounced back and played well. And yesterday wasn't the exception. We got a big lead and kind of gave a lot of it away at the end, but we played well and got a good conference road win after a very long weekend. A lot of different things going on and found our way through. So that's kind of what you want at this time of year. It's conference play. Every game's hard. So, right now it's just find a way to win, keep trucking along, have good things happen.
Yeah, well, you talk about the bounce back win. I'm not sure everybody knows exactly what you're talking about, but on Saturday you played a top 5 team in Langston University, and they're atop of the leaderboard right now with no losses and all wins of the Sooner Athletic Conference, which we've always said is quite literally the best basketball conference in the nation. Now, obviously, things ebb and flow, but historically speaking, this Sooner Athletic Conference is extremely tough from year to year, and this is the second year Langston has put together a absolute powerhouse of a team. You go up to Langston, which is a very tough place to play, and lose, and kind of in big numbers. Talk to us a little bit about how that game went, how you feel about the performance against Langston.
Well, they're a great team. And they have a great coach, Chris Wright. He's been doing this a long time and it's pretty much been a top, 10 team probably for the last 4 or 5 years of him coaching here at both at Langston and his previous school, Talladega. He's just a really good coach and he does a lot with his man. They're extremely talented. And they kind of, we started out the game pretty well and then they kind of hit us back and just took control of the game. And we didn't really respond very well on Saturday. And it was a tough environment and a tough Saturday game coming off of finals. And, this break is always a different thing to manage. And, they just beat us Saturday. So don't really have much to say. They played extremely well. They were ready for us. They were engaged and they took the fight to us. So, that happened and, you just own it. And, I say you Ralph it, recognize it, admit it, learn from it and forget it. And then you move on and you just do the second, you just do the, you take ownership of what you did, you learn from it, and then you move on to the next thing. And, so I was proud of us being able to flip the switch and go back and get a road win. We start 4 of our first 5 conference games are on the road. So a little bit difficult stretch for us, but we're managing it and doing pretty well right now. And so if we can just keep growing, then, I'm happy with where we are.
Yeah, and what you talk about the tough stretch, I have a question about how that works for you. Would you rather that tough stretch come in December or playing these away games? If you played them at home, I'm just using logic here. It seems like school gets out, you don't have the fan base to really cheer you on per se, be that sixth man in the gym all the time for you. Would you rather go on the road like this and go ahead and knock these out so that when the kids get back to campus, you got a stretch of home games against some of the toughest opponents in the conference? How do you feel about that?
Yeah. I mean, I'd say that's true. I mean, obviously, it's more fun to play with your fans in the building. So if we're
Yeah.
going to have our home games, I'd like to have it whenever our students are on campus. One thing about SAGU, we're everybody's so supportive of our team, and I think our atmosphere is a really tough place to play in. Love playing our home games. So yeah, I mean, getting all these road games out of the way. I mean, as long as you win them, then you feel pretty good about having them early. But
Yeah.
to be honest with you, win or lose, this is good for us and good growth, and it's kind of why we scheduled the way we scheduled. And hopefully this battle tests us to where towards the end of the year we're playing our best basketball.
Okay, we've already established with our previous guests that in men's basketball, the polls really don't mean a whole lot. They kind of put it there on the poll that this is not going to be used for seeding. I don't know if I
Right.
actually believe that, but I get it. I get the spirit behind the statement here that the men's side is not regulated by the polls exactly, and and there you go. You can kind of see the top 25 there. You're number 27 currently. That all could change tomorrow. And let's go back to the other frame, guys. So, as are you expecting? Do you even care? Do you look at it? Do you expect to raise up? Talk to me
Um,
about how you feel about polls.
right. Well, I'm a Raider, so I'm in the middle of helping, kind of put that thing together. So I have a lot of opinions on it, but
Yeah, I bet.
I don't know if I expect a lot. We did just lose. A big game by a lot of points. So I don't know what that's going to
Yeah,
do for us. I do think that we have, since the last poll, we went to USAO and got a big win versus a very, very, very talented team who is also probably underrated right now,
yeah,
which that'll. I think it feel like that'll all rectify itself as it goes. But so I don't know what I expect for tomorrow. Honestly, it's too early in the year to worry about that. I think right now we're just trying to become better, become a better team each time. And like you said, the poll is they have taken it out as a primary criteria, but obviously the poll can shape public perception, which
yeah.
honestly makes people believe whether you're good or not. But when the number RPI numbers come out, and people start to look at your top 50 RPI games that you've played, and the good teams you've played on your schedule, I'm really more worried about us just performing well in those. We've played a lot of those already. I think we've already probably had 4 or 5 of those games in our first 10 games. So, I think that's been good for us. And so that's really where we're focused right now. It's just becoming better every day.
Yeah, right. And that's really transparent, and I appreciate that about you, Delton. I know I'm going to get it straight and the truth. I think a lot of times I talk with coaches, and I don't want to say they're being dishonest, but maybe it's kind of how they know they should think. But we all know that, like you said, polls shape public opinion, and you want the public to have a good opinion of what you're doing at your school. And obviously, being in that top 25 is very helpful. Right now, I don't know that there's any difference between 25 and 27, especially in a poll like this, which is solely based on votes and how you guys look at things. There's not a ton of analytics other than the analytical mind of coaches through optic test and I would assume that it's not like we have greater access to games now than we ever have, but no
Right.
coach is going to just sit there and watch all the teams. So it seems like your view is shaped by what your coaching friends are telling you, and you
Right.
have some third degree at least connection to all these teams. So you know someone that knows someone that
Right.
can give you an opinion. So, and do you guys talk about that in your
Oh, yeah.
circles? Okay.
Definitely, yeah, and I would say that this is probably one of the reasons why the criteria has changed. When the NAI merged from 2 divisions to one, there's so many teams across the country, and like you said, it's not we don't have the same access as maybe Division 1 teams where everybody's seeing everybody, and you have a lot of eyes on the teams, and it's pretty obvious to see, who's playing well and stuff. Well, we don't always have those access without you seeking it out. So they've made the change was really because of the total group. You've got this huge number of teams and all these people playing.
Yeah.
And I have a unique perspective because I coached in Division II and I coached in Division I NAIA. So I understand all the conferences and where the good basketball is and where the best teams are. And I think that gives me a unique perspective on the whole thing. But the poll, in the past, it was pretty much just that you went down the list of the top 30 ranked teams and you kind of just made it as you went down the receiving votes list. That's pretty much how you got in the tournament. But because of the tournament's bigger now, there's two, you got all the divisions merged. I just don't think that that's a clear enough picture of everything that's going on. So I like that. I like what we're doing. I think we're tweaking and getting better each year about picking the correct criteria and the right information to know who's good. I do think there's still a few flaws in some of the systems that we're doing, but it's trying to get better. And as anything, whenever you start it, you're just trying to tweak it from there and get it to a point to where it's pretty fair across the board. You're getting the right teams in the tournament.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you to take off your Sooner Athletic Conference Raider hat for just a second.
Sure.
Actually,
Yeah.
it's kind of a dualistic question, so you could wear it. But just so we could say you're not being biased on this question about Langston. They're a top 5 team in the polls.
Sure.
Are they a top 5 team?
Sure. 100%.
So that defense is for real, right?
Yeah, it's not, and I think they've got a lot of really good basketball players this year. I think their IQ is high. Anthony Roy, number 2 on their team, is one of the best players in the country. He's a great player. But beyond that, they play really hard, and Chris does a good job of getting them to play together and connected, which isn't easy to do when you collect as much talent as he gets. So he gets a lot of talent. It's not always easy to mesh that, and he does a great job year after year. And it's more of the same. I think they're a very good team, and they're definitely a legit contender and somebody that's going to cause everybody problems the rest of the year in our conference and outside the conference.
Yeah, I was watching them because we're really interested in trying to identify who's really, really good. And I think, Coach Wright is a great coach. That's kind of hands down. Proof is in the pudding. But like you said, from year to year, you get different players, how they mess with the chemistry. He seems to have a unique ability to get high-level players to buy in. And one thing I was impressed with when I watched that game against you guys is the level of defense that they can play. And it's not just one style. They can play half-court defense. They can just throw everything at you, play a wild, helter-skelter type defense, and they're good at it. And I think that kind of showed up in the score because it got you uncharacteristically unbalanced, it looked like. And so, when you see a top 5 team, a lot of times you go, is this just popularity contest or is this a real top 5 team? And from what I saw, this team looks very legitimate. And
we're one of the
go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah, we're one of the leaders in assists per game in the country. Our team is. We do a good job sharing the ball, and they really disrupted us and got us out of it. And we've had good perspective. We've played LSU Shreveport, who's probably going to be a top 5 or 6 team this week in the polls. We played Freed Hardman, who's a top 10 team in the country. We played Florida College, who's a top 25 team. USAO, who I believe is easily a top 25 team. We've played a lot of good teams and seen a lot of good teams. And Langston's as good as anyone, And I think Shreveport's really good too, and they've got also a great coach also. And I think they're very talented as well. But Langston plays very hard, and they're good at disrupting. And you have to be prepared for the fight. So, and if you're not, then they're gonna expose you. So it takes concerted effort. And it takes you being locked in to play with them for sure.
Yeah. So really quickly, touch on the SAGU specifically, but anything that you might know in the Sooner Athletic Conference. Are there going to be any roster changes? Are you adding anyone? Sure. Where are you? Do you have injury reserve players? Where are you, and how healthy will you be when you come back in January?
Yeah, we're going to be fortunate to get back Cortland Blake, who was our best player last year, first team all conference and Sooner. He averaged 17 points a game and very good player, two-way player, and he hasn't played yet this year, so he'll be coming back here soon, and that'll be a good bolster for us. He's a tough matchup, and I think he's going to help us in a lot of areas. This is the break. You never know what's going to happen academically or injury-wise, or people
Yeah.
stands to NAIA, so rosters constantly change. So I would expect that you'd see quite a few changes in the Sooner. I know of a couple teams that are adding players already, and you just never know who will be there and who won't. But the one thing about our conference, it tends to get stronger as the year goes along, and I think you'll see that. I think you'll see that as we go right here. So, but yeah, we're looking forward to having Cortland back. He's going to be a good addition to us, and we got to add a couple guys back in the last couple games as well. So,
Wow, that sounds amazing because you already have a national player contender. I think he's made a lot of headlines. He has been the 3 week. I think back player of the week in the Sooner Athletic Conference, and that's CJ Hall. Um, it, it, did you know you were getting a dynamic score like that at the beginning of the year?
yeah, I've known CJ forever. So his brother is our point guard, and his older brother is our point guard. He's been here for, I think this is fourth
Alaric
year now.
Hall.
It's hard to
Yeah.
lose. Yeah, Alaric Hall. It's hard to keep track of everybody with the COVID years and everything that's going on. But
Yeah,
he's been
yeah.
here a minute, so I've known CJ for a long time, and he was, a great high school player and a, JUCO all region player and a really good player when he came in. But the best thing is, he does score a lot of points and he does a lot of dynamic things, but he is a great teammate and he plays within our system and he doesn't really get outside of what we're doing. And, Langston did a really good job on him, when we played him, but he's had a good game just about every game we've played. And he's a tough player. And, it's because he's in the gym as much as anybody I know, and he loves playing the game. And I think that's half the battle whenever you're talking about these guys that are elite. It's the ones that really love the game that kind of separate themselves. And I think that's what you're seeing with him.
Yeah, and one last thought here on how you something that I think is unique to your system this year, your program. You have, and I dare say there's no other program in the country that has this. You have two sets of brothers, and as I've watched you guys play, it seems like those four guys, those two sets of brothers on the floor a lot together. Is there something special about the chemistry that happens with a true brotherhood? I mean, your team's a brotherhood, but like literally same DNA kind of brotherhood. Is that
Yeah.
different?
Oh yeah, definitely. So the chemistry and the synergy between those guys are, it's elite. Obviously, they've known each other their whole life. They played together their whole life. But beyond that, those specific ones we have are unique people. So they're all so, I mean, incredibly unselfish and incredibly, they really play for each other, and you can feel it, and it resonates through the rest of our team too. So and that's a cool thing we have. I think it's that's what everybody talks about because it's so unique. But beyond that, it's not just them. I think it's we have a cousin on later in
Oh
the
yeah,
roster on
yeah,
the
yeah,
team.
yeah.
We've got other guys like a couple of our other guys had grown up with some of these guys, and it's just a weird synergy that we have. But it's really unselfishness throughout the roster, top to bottom. This has been a fun team to coach because they really love playing the game. I don't think that we've always had teams that just everybody loves playing the game, but these guys love playing. They love each other. We have very little inner drama or anything like that, and that's why I think you see a high assist totals. That's why you see
Yeah.
efficiency and all those things, is because they willingly give the ball up and celebrate each other when good things happen. And that's what you want to see. So you can lose if you're as a coach, you can lose if your team's doing that. You can lose with them, and then obviously that's going to help you win, and it'll be a byproduct of what you're doing if you play that way, and then your attitudes are that way as well.
Yeah, and I think there's a whole off the court level that happens when those guys talk about the game. They review
Right.
things together. That there's and these particular sets of brothers, from what I hear, they're very open to criticism from one another. It's not like
Sure.
this brotherly strife that goes on, and for that reason. we have taken a look, and we believe no matter what that Langston, that's a top 5 team. So that's not a bad loss, even though you may feel like that you lost badly. You're going to get to face them again. You're going to get to try this again against Langston at home. I do personally think that's going to be a different story than a 30-point loss. And if you can really improve everything and get the win, that's going to just justify my next statement even more. But I think you guys are a top 15 team. I've watched a lot of this early basketball, and right now it appears that you guys have the goods to be a top 15 team. Now, you have 2 losses in the book overall, and 1 is a conference loss, right? Do I remember
losses,
that?
yeah.
Oh, you have 3
We
total
have
losses.
3, yeah.
All right, so
we lost, but all the top 25 teams, and we lost 2 buzzer beaters. So
and you're on buzzer beater. All right, so this couldn't have worked out more perfectly. I don't know that I wanted to throw this in, but hey, James, I know we played this clip in the intro. Okay. This is I don't want to spoil it. So walk us through. What do you think? Oh, can you pause it, James? Right here. Pause it. All right. Let's set it up. You can see the scoreboard. You're up 3. And this is 3 seconds left to go in the game. What are you thinking right here? There was a timeout before this, right? Because we just saw an inbounds play.
Sure.
So I'm sure you discussed how did you approach this in the huddle?
I don't know that I have a 100% philosophy of what I think, whether you should foul or not foul or anything like that. I kind of, I'm a little bit more of a feel guy, whether the analytics support that or whatever, that's a whole nother debate. But, I like to look and see where we're at this point of the game. We had a huge lead, and they were coming back, and we were reeling. And so I felt like at this situation, we decided to foul with 3 seconds left. Typically, if you foul and you're up 3 and there's 3 seconds left, the only way you really lose most of the time, is on your own accord. So, you get a rebound, you don't turn it over, you make your free throws, you win the game. There's not a way for you to come back. It's on you. So that's what we decided to do right here. And, we'll see what happens. But,
okay. All right. Yeah. So the call is, hey, get the foul. Let's make them shoot free throws better than a 3-point play. To me, that's 100% call. Like from the bench, I mean, I'm just kind of putting on my my amateur coaching hat there, and it seems like the math works out, right? So that's what you do. You guys get the foul. It's pre the shot, so they're probably in bonus, I imagine. So he gets two guaranteed shots, right? Okay. Let's see. Have we already shot one? So I think he hits the first one. Let's see. I think this is the first one. And the commentators on this were awesome too. So if you guys didn't get it, all right. So he hits it, all right. And now we get shot number 2. Now, this is one of the hardest things to do, right there. Perfectly bounce off the rim. He gets it off. We've studied it. Banks it in on a. I forget what day of the week. So it might have been a work day. So maybe the bank was allowed to be open. But
yeah, that was a great execution by them. I mean, that's a play that if you did it 20 times in a row, I don't know how many times you'd make it.
You wouldn't do it.
It's only one time, and they did it. And
they did it.
Credit to Coach Teichman over there. He does a great job. And you know what? Florida College, whatever
these
they're
guys
doing
are for
at the
real.
end of the games is working.
Yeah.
They've hit 3 buzzer beaters this year.
Yeah.
1 full court. They hit a 75-foot shot to win a game at the buzzer. They made this shot to win a game, and the other day they just hit another buzzer beater. So whatever he's doing in his late situation practices, I mean, I need to do it.
I'm pretty sure one of our calls in this next week is going to be to him, because he is the buzzer beater, and that is, of course, the name of this show. We need to get guys on like that. I'd love to hear his perspective and show this clip.
Sure.
That's a 1 in a million type of scenario right there. It bounced right for him.
And you said, you think we're a top 15 caliber team. I do believe that we can play with just about. We lost another bank-in buzzer beater pretty much against LSU Shreveport, who's a top 5 team.
Yeah.
And then then you have this happen. So honestly, we're 2 plays. You want to look at how you're playing as a whole and not let what happens in the last 2 seconds determine, shape who you are, even though it is a winning and losing game. But I'm pretty proud of us. We've competed outside of the one. We kind of had the one dud, but outside of that, we've played a very tough schedule, as good as anybody, I think, and we've competed in every game. So
yeah,
I think we've given ourselves a chance to win, and we bounced back and won the next game after this. So
absolutely, you're deserving. We all know kind of how the polls work. You're so close to the top 25. I mean, it's like being in it at this point. But I hope to see you guys crack that, at least for public perception. And and that's going to be a good thing for your program. And thanks so much, Delton, for taking the time to be with us here on Buzzer Beater. I know that the fans, the NAIA basketball fans, that greater community that's out there that really follows, they appreciate your voice. And hearing high IQ guys like yourself talk about the game just makes us all better, and I think solidifies a tighter community, and will ultimately build the brand, the NAIA brand. So thanks so much. I know you're tired, man. Get some sleep.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, I want to say thank you to you too, man. Thanks for everything you're doing for us. Yes, a little tired. We had quite the weekend. We had a hotel catch on fire while we were in it.
Oh, man. In this last trip?
On fire while we're sleeping. Last trip, the hotel caught on fire in the middle of the night. Thought it was a joke. Thought somebody pulled the fire alarm.
Oh, no.
Walked outside and there's smoke billowing everywhere. And I was
no.
Man, let's get us out of there. So,
and is that the night before the Kansas, the Central Christian game? Okay.
Yeah, Sunday evening we got down there and we were out all until about 3 a.m. and then had to actually shift to a different hotel. Quite the story, but this when you coach, you just rack up stories is what you do. You just accumulate them. So this is another one for the book.
That is unbelievable. Wow. And you got the win, which makes it all the more better. That story will be legendary, I guess, for your team.
Our kids will remember that more than the win.
Yeah. That's a great story, and I'm gonna think about that. Maybe we'll see if there's anybody else that's had a similar experience. But anyway, Coach, man, I've taken up enough of your time. Thank you so much, and good luck the rest of the season. You got a big, tough conference. We think Sooner Athletic Conference, top 3 conference in the country, and there's a lot of work ahead. But we got our eye on you, and maybe we'll have you back soon. Thank you.
That'd be great. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.